Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Standing. My name is Beth, and we have once again reached a Sunday. So I'm going to give you guys a wrap up of what I read since last weekend's report. Uh, Talk a little bit about how my week went and what I'm hoping to read in the last couple of days of October. So let's start out with a quick recap of what I did last week, which was all pretty much school. We had our quarterly in-service day on Friday. So what happens is once a 6 weeks we go in on a Friday. I work at a 4-day-a-week school, and once a 6 weeks we go in on Friday and have in-service and things like that, so that we can get a bunch of our hours in that way and maintain our 4-day-a-week status and allow teachers to get in-service hours as well. So I didn't have my normal Friday where I listen to audiobooks or read while I'm cleaning or doing schoolwork or things like that. However, I did get a couple of things read this week. So I finished A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol. Now, this one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I think that there might be a second book in this series. I'm really not sure. It says that coming in April of 2024, there is going to be a novella called Kitty, which is our main character from A Kind of Spark. It's her big sister who also has autism. So I am looking forward to reading that. I don't know if there's going to be any more in the series after that. But basically, um, our main character is told in first person, and our main character um, is autistic, and she is in 6th or 7th grade. I can't quite remember exactly. But her teacher, Miss Murphy, is talking to them about the witch trials that happened in Juniper. She's in Scotland. And she realizes that a lot of the people that were tried as witches were probably neurodivergent, probably reacted to things rather similarly to how she reacts to things. And she hyper focuses on these things. But it doesn't just focus on like the witch trials and her hyper fixation on those. It also shows her family, her making a new friend. And yes, it does have a lot to do with the Juniper witch trials and her trying to get like a plaque put up for the witches, or the people who were accused of being witches. But it also talks about like her teacher who's old school and doesn't believe in like autism, thinks that she and her older sister Kitty, who's also autistic and was also in Miss Murphy's class back in the day, she thinks they're just dramatic and trying to be pains in the butt. And so it focuses on like how they're being treated and how they're being bullied because people don't really understand what autism means a lot of the time, because there are so many different ways to be autistic, and it talks about that as well. We also get to hear about Kitty a little bit, who is now in college, and how being at university is affecting her. And I thought it approached those things very, very well. Um, as someone who is a teacher and a doctoral student now, um, and was diagnosed as having Asperger's, being very high functioning, but very most definitely neurodivergent, um, in my early 30s. It really kind of validated my inner junior high student, and things that I dealt with that I thought were just kind of normal. So I really loved it. I thought it was really well written. There were a couple of places that I wanted something more from that I didn't quite get, but it was still absolutely wonderful. Like I said, on Goodreads, it's a 4 out of 5, but I actually give it about a 4.5 out of 5. It just didn't quite hit 5 stars for me, um, but it's still really, really good, and I highly suggest that you read it. Then I knocked out this Whomper. This is The Witch, the Sword, and the Cursed Knights by Alexandria Rogers. So this follows Ellie, who is like half witch, half fairy. And in the world that she lives in, witches caused the fall of Camelot, which is fairly accurate um, to our legends, right? But there are, I want to say, 25 and a half different realms. One of those realms is our realm where magic doesn't exist anymore. And then the other realms know of each other and of magic. And Ellie, is trying to be a fairy godmother and kind of ignore her witch's magic, um, and focus on her fairy magic. But then she gets called up to be a knight of the round table. Now, Camelot fell several hundred years ago, but we still have knights of the round table that are protecting the realms. And then we have Caedmon. He's from Wisconsin. His best friend just died, and he gets called up to be a knight of the round table. Now, most knights do not get called from our realm because we don't know about magic, and we don't know about the knights of the round table or any of that. But they're being called up, and they have to break a curse. They have to find Excalibur, reforge it, and break a curse. And I went into this thinking I'm not really sure I'm going to like it. And the first few chapters, I was still kind of iffy, but as we got further into it, it really picked up. And I think Alexandria Rogers did a really good job with this. And I believe that there's a second book called The Beast, the Queen, and the Lost Knight. This one came out in 2022. So I don't know for certain if The Beast, the Queen, and the Lost Knight um, is out as of yet. Yes, it was released already. I'm looking on my Goodreads right now. It looks like it was recently released. So, um, in the second book, Caedmon and Ellie um, are working on a new quest to graduate to the next level at the Knights Academy. So, this was, again, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I believe I gave this a soft 4 out of 5. So like 3.5, 3.75 out of 5, but I bumped it up to a 4 for Goodreads. This sticker is going to annoy me. It's one of those buy one get one half off Barnes and Noble stickers that just don't like to peel properly. It pisses me off. All right, so that's all that I completed reading last week. To be fair, I also went on a field trip with the third through fifth grades. I got to set up a really cool field trip where we went and saw the symphony, and the symphony did a kids symphony where they connected 5 classical works that were written based off of water, and they talked about like the water cycle, and they connected the songs to the water cycle, and there was a big screen, and they played videos of like streams going while they were talking about the water in the stream, and then um, how it evaporates and becomes clouds, and they played Clouds by Debussy, and we got to see clouds floating overhead and like steam going up and condensing into clouds. uh, steam. Um, and then they played Thunderstorm, which is one of the pastoral pieces by Beethoven. And so we got to watch thunderstorms on the screen while they played it. And it was just really, really cool, like 45-minute long little deal. And then we got to go to CC's Pizza, and we took the kids to an awesome playground, and they got to play. So that completely screwed up my schedule for not only the day that we went on it, but the day before and the day after, trying to get things taken care of. So a lot of my reading got kind of put on the back burner. And this book is like 400 and something pages long. So yeah, 426 pages. Um, However, totally worth it on all accounts, on all levels, 100% worth it. If you have a kid or a school in your area and there is a symphony that does something like that in your area, I would highly, highly suggest that you take them on. Now, I did also complete Reading Dirt by Denise Gosliner Orenstein. Now, it is a super cute book, and I gave it like a 3.5 stars. It's super cute. It just could not hold my attention. I will most likely end up um, rereading it at some point just because I couldn't pay attention to it this time. I am currently listening to the audio of Hooked on Murder by Betty Hetchman. It is the first in the Crochet Mysteries, Cozy Mystery series by Betty Hetchman, or Hechtman, maybe. I don't know. And it's pretty cute so far. Our main character is like learning to crochet because she found someone murdered when she was going to take the crochet hooks back to this person. So at the very beginning of the book, this woman, our main character who works at a bookstore that hosts a local like crochet group, realizes that the leader of the crochet group had left her crochet hooks. So she just gonna run on over to the lady's house. She just lives a few blocks away from her. She goes over to drop the hooks off and kind of stumbles upon this poor woman strangled dead in her living room. She calls the police, or the police show up before she can call them, actually. And now she's the main suspect, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. So she kind of gets pulled into detective work. She says multiple times at the beginning, like, it's not my job. I don't want to be the one to try to figure this out. I just want to do my work, right? Her boyfriend is a detective in the precinct. She's like, it's not a good look. So she's just trying to go on, but she also understands that the women in the crochet group need more help because they're trying to make a blanket for charity, and now that their head crocheter is gone, they're going to need some more help. So she decides to try to learn how to crochet in order to take down her anxiety a little bit, because crocheting can be soothing, but also to help them out. And it's just a comedy of errors at this point. I'm a little over halfway through. I'm enjoying it. It's probably going to be like a 3.5 star read, but it's a solid little first in a cozy mystery series, and I'm enjoying it. The audiobook I have currently is The Language of Ghosts by Heather Fawcett. Heather Fawcett. I have read the prologue. That's it. I'm also listening to Hooked on Murder on audio as well, and then I have this in physical and audio. But I started to read it in physical, and my brain just is not functioning to read like a physical copy of anything very easily right now. So I was struggling, and I got the audiobook to read along, and it's okay. Now, to be fair, I am only 12 pages in. I did just read the prologue, but I'm not sure that I'm going to continue with this right now. I might put it back on the shelf and wait for later on. Especially since I've got some homework to do and I'm enjoying the cozy mystery vibe. So I may take a break from this. This is it's middle grade, but it feels kind of highbrow fantasy at the same time, just from the first 12 pages that I've read. So I could be totally off base. I'm going to give it a couple more chapters. I always tell my kids, give it at least 3 chapters before you take it back to the library. So I'm going to try to give it at least the prologue and 2 chapters before I put it back on the shelf. But that's what I've got going on right now. That's all I've been doing. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Let me know if you've read any of these or want to read any of these. And that's all. So stay safe out there.